What do you think? I read this column over the weekend in a newspaper down in Alabama, in fact, and it cracked me up because I started to think about all the times I've been in weird situations like this. What do you think about banning cell phones in certain areas?
I think that's a great idea.
Certain places.
Absolutely.
Is that a good thing? Well, a guy wrote a column about some incidents that he had a little deal where he let people write in and tell him some of their worst cell phone horror stories. One lady said that she was at the funeral for her mother, her sweet mother, and somebody on the fourth row had a cell phone ring.
Oh.
They not only had it ring, they proceeded to pick it up and have a conversation while the pastor was doing the eulogy.
Oh, wow.
She continued to talk during the funeral. Another one that he mentioned that kind of stuck out in my mind was he was seeing the Nicole Kidman movie, The Others, which if you don't know about that, it's now out on video, but if you don't know much about it, it's a thriller type movie. Yeah. He said they had reached, apparently there's some like weird ending for that movie, a twist that you're not expecting. Said that the guy in the row in front of him had a cell phone ring, picked it up, began chatting as they approached the last 5 minutes of the movie. He said just when they were getting to the ending, the guy on the phone screamed to the person on the other end, "Oh, they're getting to the part in the movie where," and told the entire ending to the,
I would have killed him.
to the person on the cell phone. But there's talk now about banning them in certain areas.
Well, those would be two good starting points for the ban: funerals and movie theaters.
Yeah.
Those two would be great starting points.
You know, I was in a restaurant one night, and it was my wife and I, it was our anniversary, and so we went out to a place, a very romantic, quiet setting, and there was a woman at the table next to us, and her cell phone must have rang 30 times in a row.
Oh, gosh.
Over and over again. Now, she was not, some people may be thinking, well, what if she was a doctor and she was getting a lot of calls? She was doing nothing but chit-chatting with every person that would call.
Did you say chick-chatting?
Pretty much. Yeah. She would answer the phone. "Hey, girl, what you doing?" "Oh, great. Well, give me a call tomorrow. We'll get together." "Okay, great." Hang up. 30 seconds later, phone ring. "Hey, girl." Might have been the same girl.
She had a short attention span.
Yeah. But it was one of those places, it was like a candlelight dinner, small and romantic and quiet.
I remember the first time we ever went to one of our favorite places, the Cheesecake Factory. There were two women sitting, little tables for two, sitting right beside us. You remember that?
Oh, funny.
And these two girls, apparently one got there first. They knew each other. The other one gets there, and they hugged and just smooched up on each other like girls will do, like they hadn't seen each other in 10 years and were former best friends.
Oh, yeah.
They sit down, and about that time, one of them's cell phone rings, and then a few minutes later, the other one's cell phone rings. They sat, I swear to you, for 30 minutes across from each other, each on the cell phone, talking to different people.
And it was pretty much the whole dinner. The whole dinner they just spent on the phone.
Having different conversations with different
conversations.
people.
They never talked. They just sat there with two different conversations going
and
on.
when they greeted, it was obvious they knew each other and hadn't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
Either that or it was very friendly. A little too friendly. Of course, we were in California.
But I think restaurants may be one other one that we need to issue a ban.
Yep. Now, I will admit that I have had my cell phone ring while I was in church.
Oh, good.
Yes, it was just regular church service.
It was the devil calling.
And if you could have seen the preacher's look, because he knew where it was coming from, because it's, a very specific ring. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And it's quiet. It's right in the middle of his down, He takes a breath. Boom, boom, boom.
What'd you do?
I just kind of bent down and turned it off. I didn't even care who was calling, but I've done that. And I've heard another phone go off during church service, too. So I think they should be banned at church services.
Well, churches,
all church services.
Funerals, maybe restaurants.
Yes. Operating rooms.
On that note, then we'll get back to some more people on the room. I want to grab Corey real quick because Corey has a cell phone horror story.
Hi, Corey. You're on the Stephen D.C. Show.
Hello. How are y'all doing today?
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
How you doing?
Now, Corey, it's obvious you're on your cell. Are you phoning us this morning from a library?
Actually, I am phoning you this morning from my truck on my way to work.
Very good. That's an appropriate place to use it. Yeah.
Isn't it, though?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but I was at church one Sunday morning. Same thing happened that whoever it was, I didn't quite catch who it was. Christy, sorry, Christy. Happened a lady, her phone had rang. And it was right at the downtime. The pastor took a breath, exactly, and it rang. And she went to the back thinking nobody could hear her talking. but you heard her whole conversation because she was talking so loud, pretty much screaming into the phone.
Yeah, a lot of people think when they get on the other side of double doors, for some reason they think you can't hear them. And you can, clear as a bell. And with the way phones are made these days, are there any phones out there that don't vibrate?
No, they all vibrate.
They all have that setting now where they vibrate. I don't know why you'd even need, if you're in a church, if you're in a quiet restaurant, why you'd even need that.
Some people just don't care.
That's right.
I guess so.
Or some probably forget.
I forgot.
I actually almost got arrested at a movie theater for using my cell phone. They said it is illegal to use a cell phone in this particular theater because it interferes with hearing impaired devices. And she threatened to call the cops on me if I didn't hang up.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
Who were you talking to?
I was talking to a girl at the time, way back when.
Devil.
Yeah.
You old devil.
Does your wife know?
Look at that devil. That's a devil with a blue shirt on.
You were talking to a girl?
I was meeting somebody.
You know what? It's not very intimidating when you tell the other prisoners what you're in for.
Yeah.
What are you in for?
Talking in a movie theater on the cell phone.
And it was in the lobby.
I'll do it again, man.
It wasn't even in the theater. It was in the lobby, and they said it interferes with all the hearing impaired devices.
Really?
Yeah.
Set them all haywire.
I've got one.
Sorry, I can't help but remember a time that Steve went to a movie theater. It wasn't a cell phone. He went to see
oxygen tank.
I
know exactly what you're thinking.
He went to see a Paul Newman movie that attracted a little bit of older crowd.
A little bit.
And this woman behind him.
Nobody's perfect.
You know, well, that's true. That's a good statement, Steve.
I'm not referring to myself. I mean,
I thought you were defending the lady.
That was the name of the movie.
No. You know how when somebody gets to the bottom of a soda cup, and they're doing that.
Oh no! A terrible sucking noise.
Well, I mean, a straw is to let an idiot know when they've gotten to the bottom. Well, there ain't no more.
Steve is hearing the woman behind him
Repeatedly
do the sucking noise, and it sounds.
Here's what it was. Every 10 seconds, as I'm watching the movie, the most dramatic part of the Paul Newman movie, you heard. So as I stood up and proceeded to say, "Why don't you go buy another soda? That one's just bad. I looked around, and the lady was on an oxygen tank, and that was her going,
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
She required oxygen.
Oh no.
I swear.
You got to admit, after about 10 minutes, you'd say, here's the money, I'll buy you a soda.
Yeah.
You can't get any more out of that one.
Refill, I'll see.